Graduates, big up your nice clean selves. I see you all. And we just wait for people to come into class, no? Like and share up the live, please, and thanks. I want this live to be shared far and wide. I don't normally come on here and ask you guys to share. No, I don't normally. I appreciate all the shares, but it's never usually a requirement. It's never usually something I ask. But on this occasion, graduates, if you are ready to stand up for what is right, and if you are ready to split justice, please share the live. Like and share the live. All right, like and share the live. You all know that I've been telling you guys I'm on a break. I'm on a break, and I still am on my break. I'm on my break from blogging. I'm just focusing on myself, getting certain things done family-wise, getting certain things done in my life. But I said to you that I would touch base with you ever so often, right? But on this occasion, I'm back in blogger mode, and I have decided to break my fasting from blogging because it's necessary for me to do so. It's necessary. So before I go into it, let me quickly greet you with a visual. Wagwan, wagwan. My little piece of wig. How are my graduates doing? I hope you are all well. How are my graduates doing? Let me greet everyone before I get started, okay? So, starting from the top. Good morning, Michelle. Big up yourself. Vanessa, my sister, and big up yourself. Dawn, Marencha's in the house. Nama in the house. Big up on herself. And good morning, Guyanese number 2, Curleen Richards. Good morning. Good morning, Nadine. How are you doing, sweethearts? Trisha K. Good morning. Yes, it's 9 a.m. in beautiful Jamaica. Blessed Max, good morning. Walter Sauces and more. Big up yourself. Valerie Douglas, big up yourself. Yvette, big up yourself. I'm working and listening. Okay, that is good. Try to bother make the bus, make it think say yes, Skype, you know. So focus, right? Okay, Dawn, big up yourself. Barbara Finley, big up yourself. Venice, big up yourself. I see you. Arlene Millwood, I see you. Carmen Rattry, I see you. Let me pin Norma's comment. Don't forget to mark yourself present on the register by liking up the live, bouncing up those algorithms so that we increase visibility. Thank you very much in advance. Lydia, big up yourself. Linda G, big up yourself. Who else? I don't want to miss anyone. Marcia Smith Brissett, good morning. 3-Leaf Clover, good morning or good afternoon, wherever in the world you are. Rowena, yes, you catch alive. Blessings to you. Kerry, Wagwan, Drea, 1969, I see you. Blessed Max, Colleen Marks, Valerie Douglas, Elaine Cooper, Marsha Lambert, Natisha, good morning. Erica Reed, good morning. Claire, Sam, good morning. Herlexia, good morning. Bev, good morning. Emmeline and Doreen Johnson, good morning. Johnston, good morning. So I went to bed in my own little world, my own little bubble. Had no clue what was going on. As you can see, I'm hardly on many lives. I've got my few people that I'll drop in on and I'll say howdy, I'll drop some hearts. And most times I don't even stay for the full thing. I stay for a bit, but there is one person who I've been paying particular attention to. And I've been listening to her more and more these days. And that is Stacy. Stacy Ping Ping Campbell. You guys have always heard me refer to her as my Ping Ping. And I do not hide that where Stacy is concerned, there's a special place right here. A special place. I tell her that I would adopt her as a sister, like that. And I say that with no apology. Not going to mince my words about it. This has nothing to do with perfection. This has nothing to do with whether or not this person is always in the right. It is to do with me accepting somebody in their entirety for who they are, without judgment, without prejudice. Being open-minded enough to take in what they're saying, how they're saying it, what message is being delivered, and loving the entire package. I'm not happy. Graduates, I'm not happy. No, I'm not. I'm not happy for a number of reasons. And I'm not on here today to bash any of the parties involved, nor am I out here today to be biased, despite the fact that Stacey is dear to me. You know, guys, I don't run out. It's not my style. I sit back, I take in, I absorb, I listen to all the perspectives, right? The key players, because, you know, you're going to have lots of perspectives that are not necessarily key players, but I listen to the key players and then I form my conclusion based on what I have heard. I pull out the opinions versus the facts and look at both separately and objectively. Okay? And I feel inclined today to come out and speak to you, my audience, and also those who are also Planketarians as well as graduates, or just Planketarians and are visiting my live for one of the rare times. I think as a people, one of the things that, and it's funny because up to last night, I was talking to Tammy about this. One of the things about us is, as Jamaican people, we have got a spirit of rebellion, which means that what is inside of us that makes us survivors, that makes us a strong set of people, is our ancestral roots. We do not take oppression. And where there is injustice, we do not hesitate to protest and to fight. It's not something that we can help. And that's why even a lot of my fellow Caribbean people would say that Jamaicans are more aggressive. They're more cantankerous, so to speak, because we don't keep quiet. When it comes to injustice, especially, we don't keep quiet. It's what makes us resilient. It's also what makes us powerful as a people. And it's not something that should be stifled or silenced. Each of us shows our rebellion in different ways, all of which creates the fabric of what makes us one. Stacey, let not your hearts be troubled. Because in this situation, you suffered an injustice. And I'm not going to say that from a biased perspective. I'm going to show the audience the facts. I'm going to ask my graduates, please, don't disturb DMG with this. She'll watch if she wants to watch. She'll ignore if she wants to ignore. We're not hollering for her at this moment. Okay? This is about two females who claim their love and admiration and support towards one woman going at it. So, as a collective of sisterins and brethrens, because I know there are men in my audience as well, we are going to try to solve this amongst ourselves without it getting out of control. Jamaican Queen Bee. You lied. You already got the soft touch and the soft love from Kingston 13. I'm going to give you the tough part, but I'm not going to do it in a way that is confrontational or aggressive towards you. And you know I can get like that. But I'm going to tell you the brutal, honest truth. You lied. You were never threatened. You were never told by Stacey Campbell that should you go to that event, she will stop you from entering. Those words never left her lips as far as the lives were concerned. Now, I did not say that you can't feel threatened. There is a very big difference between declaring as a definitive, and I'm going to break down what I mean by a definitive. When you declare a definitive, you mean to say, this is what it is. Not this might be. Those are probabilities. Those are possibilities. When you declare a definitive, you are saying this is, not this might be. When you presented that status on your page, it was a definitive. When you wrote your email to the organizers of that esteemed event, you presented a definitive. Is, are, am means there is no argument, no if, buts, or maybes. However, when you did your live after DMG responded and showed her clear annoyance of you getting her organizers involved, your language changed from a definitive to a probability. And to the subtle ear, as in the common people, when I really pay attention to English, it will be missed. But you and I know that subtle language is not lost on me. You went from she did, she is, she was, to this is how I feel. This is how I took it. I took everything that was said towards me to be a threat. Is different from saying she did it. Jamaican Queen Bee, you know that you and I, we no mesh. I don't dislike you because I don't even know you, to be honest. I could walk past you on the street. It wouldn't matter to me one bit. I not want to fight you or anything like that. Nothing like that. I'm so used to these days, all the blows on social media. My skin is as thick as concrete. I've had more or less everything about me exposed from within. And it still hasn't shaken who I am. So don't think this is a personal attack. I really don't understand if possibly you did this on purpose, or you were so annoyed with the live that Stacy did that the dark part of Taurus came out. And trust me, I know it's because I am Taurus. And when we say vengeance, it is not a nice thing. It's something we have to pray against. But this is the reason why you have people who have come out and said that you're not a bee, you're a wasp. Speak My Mind's last live was not completely dissing you, you know. Some of it was blatant analysis, facts. Some of it was poking a little fun. But there was no disrespect in it. And if you really took on board what was being said, you'd realize that the truth in it is something that needs to be addressed. He said a bee is productive and creates honey, whereas a wasp just stings, creates pain and destruction or disruption to calm. And the way you've presented yourself on social media and categorized yourself as a troublemaker is not a healthy thing. It's not a positive thing. Can't tell you not to do otherwise. But you cannot blame people for then always looking at you and going, can she be trusted? When she is a self-proclaimed troublemaker. You came for me on more than one occasion, very unnecessarily. When I went back for you, you did not stop. You kept coming. I ignored you several times. You kept coming. And your latest action of going for my brand was taken up by those who I call righteous warriors. And that includes Ping Ping. Because she is the kind of person that when she sees something wrong, she's going to speak out. She doesn't qualify herself as a blogger. But really and truly, Ping Ping, you might as well, because you do blog. When you comment on things that are injustice, it's a style of blogging. And that is where it began. Because after she noticed that your behavior was untoward and unnecessary, and that you were seemingly trying to make fun of my ambitiousness and to create animosity and lies, claiming that I deliberately use Planketarians for money, as though I'm not a Planketarian myself. DMG giving, I've been as big, and I give her gratitude for that, and I always do. Unlike some of you who don't realize that without saying her name, there is no focus. You went as far as to say that I don't like DMG and I'm pretending and I'm hypocritical. You and I have never had a rapport. You don't know anything about me. And you have no idea about how I feel about that lady. But my graduates do. My John Shop Massive do. And they were there, John Shop, before I became a blogger. You questioned somebody's integrity on the basis of lack of goodwill. You tried to see the negative in someone you did not know because you were value judging. And you consider that to be making trouble and nothing serious. And detaching yourself from social media, between social media and real life, it's not the same. But behind every single screen and every single phone, keyboard, is a real person. And that attitude of yours, of thinking that you can say anything, step away and forget about it, is wrong. And if nobody else is going to tell you, I'm going to tell you. Because when you do that, you are assuming everyone else is like you. And if it is that you're saying that whatever you do on social media does not matter, and it's all a joke to you, how could you then take what was banter between yourself and Ping Ping and escalate it to a serious offense, put it in writing to an established organization, tarnish the image of the host of the events by looking as though she's facilitating criminals, because that's what you did. And doing all of this without any kind of evidence. The audio is chipping. Guys, can you hear me? Hold on 1 second. One second, guys. Can you guys hear me? Let me just double check this. All right, I'm going to change my speaker. 1 sec. Can you hear me now? Is that better? Is that better? Give me a thumbs up if that's better, guys. If my audio is better, just give me a thumbs up if that's better. Okay, sorry. I think what happened was that my audio started going through my echo dot. So I'm sorry. Okay. So I'm gonna show you what Ping Ping actually said. I spoke to Ping Ping. I'm not gonna hide that. I got permission to stream some of her content. And I want you guys to listen. I'm going to take myself off screen for a bit. And I want you guys to listen to what was said, okay? Because there's a very big difference between mix-up and verifying facts. What is mix-up, guys, is when we hear things and we jump out and we start running up and down and going on with ourselves. That is mix-up. When we start to listen to one side and we don't hear the full story and we start to go off, that is mix-up. When we start to say he said, she said, and we don't see or listen for ourselves, that is mix-up. And there is a very big difference between mix-up and verifying facts. And it's really important that we as platform holders do not go out of our way to harm each other unnecessarily and to cause emotional distress to people without verifying facts. And I have always said that social responsibility, social media responsibility is a big deal, especially as you become an influencer and you grow. It is so important that you consider the impact you have on the people who follow you and support you. Be less hasty to react. Right. So let me play this.
So for me, they're the blood clot door of Jesus. You're not coming in.
Listen.
On the day of judgment, yes. But for now, not by your picture.
Listen again.
So for me, they're the blood clot door of Jesus. You're not coming in. On the day of judgment, yes. But for now, not by your picture. And you gonna do that now. And you, boy, you are buzzers. So them buzzing blood clot ZZ bitch there. Them not gonna see you. Them not gonna see you. Them not gonna see you for the idiot that you is. Look for the things and what you do. Girl, just sit back nice and fine. Move it. We don't do stuff like that. Good night.
Listen again.
So for me, they're the blood clot door of Jesus. You're not coming in. On the day of judgment, yes. But for now, not by your picture. And you gonna do that now. And you, boy, you are buzzers. So them buzzing blood clot ZZ bitch there. Them not gonna see you. Them not gonna see you. Them not gonna see you for the idiot that you is. Look for the things and what you do. Girl, just sit back nice and fine. Move it. We don't do stuff like that. Good night. You're embarrassing. Now I see why. What was her name again? Sweet something another pineapple. Scooter. I done seen why the fuck she said that you shouldn't go nowhere like that because your drawers, like I said, ain't clean, bitch.
All right. I didn't nice it up. I didn't edit it. I didn't remove anything. I left it as it was because that's Ping Ping. Okay? I wanted you to hear in its raw form exactly what was said. I don't want anyone to say I chopped anything or I removed anything or I edited anything. I left everything. Yeah? I left everything for you to listen. I went back through all the lives after the issue between myself and Queen Bee. I went through them. I listened. I skipped and went back. Skipped, went back. I listened deeply. And then when I could not find, I picked my phone up and I messaged Ping Ping and I said, call me. And we spoke. And you know, me not talk to people. But on this occasion, this was an exception. I said, call me. And we spoke. And I said, I have listened to everything. Did you say any of this? Make this threat? Did you do it? And Ping Ping said, no, Head Teacher K. I would never. Jamaican Queen Bee, you refer to this girl as mad and crazy. And yet I've seen, you remember, say I've unblocked you, so I see now everything you've said about me. I don't just see what's recent, I see from back. And you criticized me for referring to a particular person as dunce, right? Remember? And you about me referring to calling certain persons out of their name. Right? And how wrong that was and how uneducated that is, because as an educated person, I should know better. And I've clapped back and said, my education has nothing to do with defending myself. I'll do that as I see fit, right? No apologies. But what I find so hypocritical is you wanting to judge other people for defending themselves against cyberbullies, however they see fit. And then you turn around and you categorize and label this girl as mad because you're not trying to understand what she's saying. Yes, she uses the bad words anyway. And I've always said, I wish Ping Ping wouldn't curse because her message is solid. Even without the bad words, she can deliver a solid message. But who am I to define people? And I know for a fact that you had no issue going on another person's life, and he uses far worse bad words than Ping Ping. Do you see the hypocrisy? yet you refer to her as mad, right? These are preconceived notions of a person based on bias and prejudice against them. You said you don't take things seriously. Where in that did you hear that you will not enter into DMG's event? Where in that did you hear Ping Ping say that she was going to be standing outside the entrance? That girl was referring to your behavior out here being inadmissible in the higher heights of God. You twisted it. And you presented that as a threat. And you put it in writing and involved an established organization and tarnished the image of DMG. So when I wrote that epistle, you know, the one you referred to, because even though you call it epistle, you read it. And I said to you that you are not changed. You made it clear that the only change you were making was to DMG, but not to anyone else. Fine. But what I'm going to say to you is this. When you affect those around this lady, you create negative karma and energy around her brand, her image, and her personal harmony. When you go after people who support this lady and claiming that you are making trouble, that level of immaturity creates chaos where there needs to be calm. I'm only telling you the blunt truth. I can tell you that 90% of the people that were on DMG's live were livid about this. But because she is who she is and she tends not to listen once she has her blinkers on, because she just don't want no mix up around her name. She don't want no whatever. So she have on the blinkers. She not take on board nothing. And that placed Stacey at an unfair advantage. And that was nothing for you to gloat about. Because let me tell you this. I know they say all is fair in love and war, but out here, there's a certain level of integrity. You betrayed the code because you took something that wasn't so and painted a narrative that was the furthest from the truth because you wanted to drive a wedge between the lady and one of her biggest warriors out here. And I don't care what DMG says. She needs people like this because these are the people who see the mess that she doesn't pay attention to. And that affects her brand day in, day out. Do you know how many times I don't notice something? And when Ping Ping speaks, I realize it is so. And it sends me to research and I see the fact. Support is not just superficial for certain people. You may not take it seriously, but recognize those who do and appreciate them. And stop trying to create unnecessary drama. And just to prove a point, because like I said, I'm coming with facts, I'm not coming with hearsay, right? This is what you wrote. We all see my screen? Give me a thumbs up if you can all see my screen, please. Right? Can you all see my screen? Okay. So this was the statement that you placed on your Facebook. Can someone please inform DMG that Ping Wing, once again, but hey, a banter, right? Says she will be at the door of the meet and greet and will not be letting me in. Look at that. Look at that. So I'm requesting a refund of $418 for 2 tickets, seeing she's allowed to refuse people from coming in. Please pass the message on to her for me. Please and thanks. And then you had the temerity, the audacity to tag one of Donna's closest friends, Lothian, and to tag 2 queens who love Ping Ping, chocolate and vanilla, and then do this backhanded apology. Sorry to tag you ladies, but I need to get this message out. If I don't get a refund, I'll be right there in my red dress and dancing shoes. So then you invert it. So are you threatened or aren't you? What is the point of this mess? So you started with this. And then goes, some people don't know how to separate social media from real life. So sad. What evidence do you have that Ping Ping has crossed over from social media into somebody's real life? What evidence do you have to prove this? That was the first one. This was the next. Right, take a look at this. Someone please tell Stacey Campbell, since she wants to volunteer to send back my money, here's my Cash App, and then you put your Cash App. I do not feel safe to be in the same room with a ranting manic. She looks and acts scary. Kingston 13, you can stay the top, but she can't hurt a fly. You ever take a good look in her eyes, especially when she widen them out? You can't stand there. Me afraid. So how is it that you're afraid of Stacey, but you're not afraid of Ashanti? You ever see when Ashanti lose it? No disrespect, Ashanti. Not calling your name for bad in this case. I'm pointing out the hypocrisy of this all. So you're trying to tell me that you can feel comfortable and confident to deal with 360, what with deep up under you, angle your triangle, and you are scared of Ping Ping. That's perception. That's you not having goodwill. Because you have goodwill too, and it's tactical, we know that. So because you have goodwill towards one, you can put aside, because they are very similar, you know. Why you think them call them one another brother and sister? They're very similar. Hypocritical. You are afraid. Were you not over by Pineapple Skoda before this? Commenting about how you don't take any of this seriously? Were you not on that live after Ping Ping had said what she's... Were you not over on that live? And then no, Ping Ping come out and address you. And is in that she talk about not letting you into heaven, because I haven't she imply. Not going through the pearly gates is what she was talking about. So you no longer take it seriously, you don't take it seriously, or you do. Which is it? How are people supposed to take you? Because you're confusing us. If anybody wants to return my money, all the plankers can chip in since uno no want me there. Enough, enough. Big up yourself, you're a planker boss. Me no want nothing for mash up your big day, bless up. You keep calling this woman into this mess. And it's not okay. And real plankers don't appreciate this kind of thing. And then you ask yourself why it is that people keep giving you negative energy. This is it. None of this has anything to do with her. This was your clapback that backfired. So the only part of DMG's life that I agree with is what the hell does her event have to do with any of this bangarang between yourself and Ping Ping? It not have nothing to do with it. And you should never have crossed those boundaries of emailing those people a malicious lie. It wasn't right. And then to have the woman up in arms because you wrote an officious email to which her professional side she has to respond. She may not have had to have responded that way because she could have equally have responded in writing. But you made her head chip because negative energy around this event is one of her weak and vulnerable points right now because she wants the success. She wants it to go smoothly. And you threw a curveball in her face as the time is approaching and the stress levels are getting higher. You did not consider her at all. And then you say, I don't like DMG. I'm not saying you don't, but your behavior doesn't show otherwise. And what if we were to use that to judge you? Would that be fair? I'm speaking to you, woman to woman. I'm asking you, re-listen. Identify where you heard this. I'm not saying that I'm a perfect investigator or researcher. Maybe I missed something. I doubt it. But then to present this kind of picture and no go so, my girl, I know it feels like you did it to me. Not on such a high degree of animosity, but you started telling the world she don't like DMG and you know you don't stand for what that. Listen, I don't stand for anything that's bull. I don't stand for anything that's wrong. I don't stand for anything that should not have gossip. And that would be to my nearest and dearest, from my blood to my best friend. Doesn't make me a hypocrite. In fact, it makes me one of the realest because I'm going to tell you when it's not okay. And the reaction that DMG gave at the start of the live, not the rest, the start. Sorry, guys, my cat just came in the room. At the start of the live, you know that hurt Ping Ping. You know it did. It hurt her. It hurt her beyond the level of social media banter back and front. Yes, because we can do that and we can do that all day, any day. But you hurt her on a personal level. And maybe it's because you yourself were also hurt on a personal level. And I can get that. It's not nice to have your pictures pulled up. It's not nice. It happened to me and you rejoiced. You enjoyed it when Ashanti did that. You said, serve me right. I saw. You did not have a problem with it when it was directed at me. But when it's directed at you, instead of handling that, you turned it into this. It's one thing to come out here and beat people with facts. It's another thing to come out here and manifest things out of thin air to the absolute detriment of somebody's mental health and somebody's integrity, somebody who regards themselves in a certain spiritual way. You undermine it. Somebody who places somebody else on such a high regard, respect the person. You made her look like an agent of destruction. And it's a lie from the pit of hell. And I'm here to tell you this, Queen Bee. We, the Planketarians, because now I'm in my planker shoes, reject that. Stacy did not threaten you. There is no proof of it. And what you allowed DMG to do in response was so wrong. Una no fear God. Me ask una a question. Una don't fear God. Do you know what the Bible says about orphans? Don't mess with them. You didn't need to do that. You could have come out, you could have cussed, you could have gone. I wouldn't have a thing to say at this point. I would not even have been out here. I carry on doing what I'm doing. Would not have been out here. But my integrity would not sit knowing what has happened. And the amount of support that young lady has given towards me when I am on the brunt of receiving some of the diatribe and the attacks just for being myself, I will not stay silent on it. Because that's what real people do. I'm not saying that Ping Ping don't come out and cuss and go with herself. But she not do it no more than anybody else that wanna claim to say wanna support. She not do it with more than anybody else that wanna claim to say wanna forgive. So you guys are not going to be out here crucifying her for something when a go so. It's different if it goes so. But because she doesn't speak direct like I do with certain things, nor does she do all this pretty screen business and put up this and put up that. Because she speaks from a spiritual place, an emotional place. That's who she is. You guys know that you can use words and do this, Ronar. When you present yourself a certain way, you're going to get the ear of the planker boss. If it's one thing my education is good for, is for representing people who struggle to represent themselves. When there is an injustice, we can't be silent. And this is the difference between mix-up and verifying facts. And just as Ping Ping would roll hard for people who come out for me unjustly, I will do the same. No apologies. She didn't deserve that. And it wasn't right to involve the organizers. Big up yourself, Karen. Thank you so much for the pretty screen. When I said that you betrayed the code, I need you to understand what I'm trying to tell you. Because I don't want you to think that it's some gang thing. It's not that. You claim to say that you have moved on from your past and you're no longer the person that you used to be. I'm trying to believe you, but you're still doing stuff, doing the most. Big up yourself, Chocolate and Valley. I didn't even realize they were in the house. Big up yourself, right? Okay. You claim to say that you're trying to change towards this lady. I need you to understand something. There are people around this lady, okay, who are her close team, her personal bosom buddies, people she'll pick the phone up and call, right? We know them. She's listed them, okay? There are people externally who, whether she would like to admit it or not, because she likes to say, me no gas up with nobody, me no, but DMG, stop it. Because all those people that are peripheral, that are celebrating and pushing up your name out there in the public, are a part of who you are today. And must never be cast aside as people who you don't know in a phone. Because their very presence makes sure that your name is held in high esteem in dark and murky places on the internet where you don't traverse. I have learned to recognize and appreciate people who speak up on my behalf. And they are doing it without being abusive. In other words, they're not stalking. They're not trolling. They're representing their truth. They're telling you like it is and saying, listen, leave HTK alone because she hasn't done anything. I appreciate those people because when I'm at my low, they keep me held up. Big up yourself, Ione. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate them. I don't dismiss them. I don't make it look like, listen, I don't know you. Because through my energy through this screen, we are getting to know each other. It may not be deeper than the internet, but it's a part of me and it's a piece of me. So what DMG brings to the screen is a piece of her. And if human beings connect with that, don't mess with them. That's why I tell you, don't betray the code. Because that messing that you're messing with these people who have connected with them, look at the impact on the boss. Thank you, Ione. Thank you. Look at the impact on the boss. I don't want anyone to be dragging Queen Bee, please. I want her to reflect. I just want her to listen. Because it isn't kind. And it isn't, you can't lift somebody up and tear down her foundation members. You can't do it. You cannot do it. And you may claim that you don't know me from Adams until DMG call my name. Sit me there on the screen. I have been here from years back supporting this lady before you existed. Yeah. So it doesn't matter about what you know. It's not who you know, it's who know you. Right? You need to stop this vicious cycle of taking the same old traits that were fueling your past existence and thinking it's funny to bring it into your current. Because this is how you were, but around a different circumstance. And now you're wanting to carry on doing this, creating all these ripples, thinking that it's cute. It's upsetting too many people and too many good people and causing them to look away and act out. And it's not okay. You may think you're being an emotional puppet, but you're playing yourself. Ping ping. Lots of love. Thank you for the super chat, sis. And as I said, you go on and you get involved, all these people who are just getting on with their life, doing what they're supposed to be doing. We enjoy it when DMG is focused and she's celebrating and she's getting on with, she's got a big thing coming up. Crossed the line. You involved some of her nearest and dearest in social media worlds and beyond unnecessarily. You threw out a problem that became too big for you to handle. And then you cried for help to the adults. Do you see how, like, that's a playground thing? You see it? Be accountable. Now, I could go into more detail, I could show the history of the things that you were saying about me. I have it on file. I could show everything. How you have been throwing your words over a series of time to justify why Ping Ping came out in my defense. I could show it. And I want you to then go back to my content and show where I've been poking at you. Go on. Every single time I've responded is in response to some mess that you have created or said. When I don't look in your direction without a cause. Some of you out here like to create unnecessary fracas and chaos. And when people warn you and say, leave me alone, you don't stop. Stacey, big up yourself. I'm sorry, guys, that I haven't been reading. I haven't been reading all the comments. Yes, that's right, but she's always going to do that, cut and fold cake. She's always going to big up people. This is her nature. She's always going to call names. That is how she is. And I don't see why we should make it into a case of, oh, that person's name has been called. It's time to go after that person. That kind of mindset is very poverty stricken and we need to stop it. If people are trying to give somebody else a strength, that is a good thing. But because we have got something that's innate inside of us, where we have this crab in a barrel mentality that if somebody a climb, we have to climb on top of them back. And we don't try to necessarily elevate and uplift somebody. It's a disease that we have to fight against. And it has come from slavery. I'm telling you that. It's the trauma in our genes that make us behave like this. That is why you will always say, only black people behave like this. It's trauma. But we can become enlightened people and we can fight against that kind of perspective and we can stop it. But we have to have goodwill. We have to mean each other well. Queen Bee, you could be a well-established blogger. People will look at in a different light, thinking that, yes, here is somebody who I can listen to and I can enjoy. You don't have to come out and attack fellow bloggers. You don't have to do that. There is no need. Find topics. Leave other bloggers to handle their platform how they want to. Stop talking about, oh, I can't stand this blogger's voice and people can't stand yours either. Does that mean you're going to be quiet? God made us how we are. We are a set of people that are capable of great things. But we have some small-minded ways that will keep us stagnant. We cannot keep doing this. Jody, big up yourself. Thank you very much for the super chat, right? We can't keep doing this, people. We can't. And certainly not to people who are good people. My God. And if it is that you're saying that, listen, I don't like that, you wronged me, you know that if you did say it in a different way, Ping Ping would have listened. But you make it look like you don't care. This is a bravado. You put that on. You make it look like, hey, Matt Gala cuss me. Me no business. Ray, look, me having a ruffled. And all kind. That's childish, right? We are human beings with feelings. And there comes a point where it is going to penetrate. Anybody who is on my life who has been a victim of people coming after them on the internet can tell you the truth. There are times when it rips you apart inside and you have to put your best face forward. And that's how your skin get thickened because you start to get used to it. But you made it look like it was no big deal and then you turn around and you're bawling out that you're afraid. Finger mash no cry. Be fair, man. When 13 referred to it and you were all happy with that, she referred to it, but she didn't do it on the basis of her going through all the lives. I went through all the lives. She never said that. And I have played it. And just for those people who came a bit late, I'm going to play it again. This right here is what Stacy said.
Playing from Readmaster Cons.
Listen.
Say for me, that the blood clot door of Jesus, you're not coming in. On the day of judgment, yes. But for now, not by your picture.
Day of judgment, you're not coming in. Big up yourself, DMG. I just saw that message. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Big woman thing. Sometimes we can solve things without going at each other. Thank you so much, Wayne King. Big up yourself for the super chat. Sometimes we can solve problem where we can talk things. So we can use our platform and not say we're going to pick up the phone and being at things with people. But we can use our platform for reason and say, okay, look, you wrong me. You do me this. Me not like it. We do this clapback thing and it just escalates and escalates and escalates. And sometimes it's not just about clapping back. Sometimes it's about assessment, stepping back and going, hang on. Did I really need to do this? Did I really need to ruffle that feather? Did I really need to hurt that person? Did I really need to wrongfully criticize them and categorize them without evidence? Did I need to do it? We're all human beings. We're reflective people by nature. And it's only a psychopath or a sociopath who does not reflect because they have no empathy and no conscience. And I don't believe Queen Bee or any of those. Otherwise, you would not have decided that you were going to change towards the lady. Let us stop creating negative ripples around the woman. It isn't necessary. All right? Okay, big up on a nice, clean self-graduates. Like up the live on your way out. I so appreciate every one of you. I'm going back in, okay? Please don't make me have to come back out again. Me don't want to, right? I'm only doing this for you, Ping Ping. One Ping Ping, my Ping Ping. Big up on a nice, clean self. This is your girl, Head Teacher K. And I'm out.